everybody, how's it going? And welcome to SMG Viewers Comments episode number 174. Before we get into it here, I just want to make a little note. I did that video, how to deal with your religious nutjob parents, a couple weeks back, and it got an awful lot of feedback. And most interestingly enough, we got a lot of feedback from the Eastern Hemisphere. And I thought this was really interesting. So the first couple questions in this episode, I'm going to respond to that directly because I think there's some really interesting perspectives and I think it needs to be heard, especially for those of us who live in the Western Hemisphere and might not understand, how things are going over there. Anyway, I do have some actual recorded related questions a little bit later on in the episode, so don't freak. This is pretty much a normal episode. Anyway, let's get right to it.
I'm a 21-year-old Pakistani. Been watching your channel for 2 years now and love your videos. I play guitar in a band, but things are a little complicated because playing music is controversial here to begin with, and I'm a girl to add to that. My family is super concerned for my safety and reputation. It's difficult to stay motivated. Any advice? Oh, and fuck you, Glenn.
Wow. Holy smokes. I know a lot about recording, but I know jack shit about the culture over there, so I will definitely plead ignorance. Aisha, thank you so much for writing. I think that's incredible. First of all, I think you're really fucking brave for playing in a metal band in Pakistan as a woman. Like I said, I'm feigning ignorance here, but to my knowledge, one of the most dangerous things in that culture is a woman who can think for herself. So hats off to you. Holy fuck. I have to put up with nasty YouTube comments. You have to deal with, being lynched or, an arranged marriage or who knows what else. Anyway, if I'm getting it wrong, let me know, okay, in the comments. But wow, talk about a touchy subject. What can you do? I'd suggest maybe move to Canada where we actually respect someone's right to express themselves. Because I don't think you're going to change that culture anytime soon. Thank you so much for writing, and I honestly wish I had a better answer for you, but that one's got no easy solution.
My parents won't let me get a guitar because it's haram and metal is satanic.
Oh, man. Well, I could suggest this. Maybe go get a job and buy one for yourself. Meanwhile, bear this in mind. Don't tell this to your parents, but honest truth here is if your God doesn't allow you to eat Italian sausage, it is time to get a new God! Yeah, and if your God has a problem with playing music, get a new God. Or just be an atheist. It's very freeing. Let's put it that way. You can just go with what's right and what's wrong and not have to deal with some kind of weird code laid out by your local witch doctor. Good luck to you, dude. I hope it works out for you.
How can you be a drummer and be incapable of playing on a click?
Thomas, I'm going to ask you this. Have you actually ever taken up a real drummer's tracks and laid them out on a DAW and seen them on the grid and see how they actually look? Because I'll tell you this, no drummer is perfect. It doesn't matter how good the drummer is, there's going to be some drift. He's going to be a little early, he's going to be a little late, he might speed up on the fills, a lot of drummers do that. His double kicks might not be perfect. That is what makes music interesting. If you want perfectly time-aligned stuff, get into EDM. Rock and roll can be outside the lines, and it's perfectly okay that way. Stop obsessing over stuff that's perfect, because when it's perfect, it's boring.
I come from a Muslim family. I started getting into metal when I was 7 years old, and they didn't mind it, and they respected my decisions, and they knew that I'll pick what is best for me. I wanted to learn guitar, and they got me one and supported me all the way. They worked so hard just to get me outside of Syria, where rock and metal music is against the government and religion. They are proud of what I'm becoming now as a musician, and I believe that more parents should be like them. Don't kill your child's dreams just for your shit imaginary fairy tales.
Wow, dude, that's fucking amazing. First off, kudos to your parents for supporting you, especially in an environment like that where it could probably be a risk. Once again, self-expression and independent thought can be a really dangerous thing for a religious society. So I'm amazed that your parents supported you. And dude, congratulations on getting the fuck out of Syria. I really wish you the absolute best, and I hope you have a massive success in your career, and I hope it goes somewhere for you. And if it doesn't, you know what? Just play the music for the enjoyment, man, because you know what? As a guy who's played guitar for 30 years and never really had any success playing music, you know what? I still enjoy it. So there is that. Anyway, I'm really curious to know where you wound up once you got out of Syria. I hope it's going well for you, man. Take care.
So what you're saying is all these years I've been praying for a bigger penis have been wasted? Fuck you, Glenn!
Yes. Yes, I am saying that. prayer is a complete waste of time. Seriously, there was a scientific study done a few years back at a hospital where people who knew they were being prayed for actually did worse than the people who didn't. So there is that. Go look it up, Google it. I forget the name of it. I think Dawkins had something to do with interesting stuff. Anyway, suggestion of the week. Instead of wasting your time down on your knees praying to a God that isn't there, get up on your feet and make something happen for yourself.
Thanks for this vid, Glenn. I wish you could do one specifically for Muslims. It took me a while, but I know proved to my father where our differences are in belief and continue to stand my ground. Apparently heavy metal is more satanic than those stupid Arabic love songs.
Hey Abdul, thank you so much for writing. You know, it blows my mind that there's this massive metal community in the Arabic world. I think that's absolutely magnificent, and I love hearing from you guys, and I think it's cool, some of the music that's coming out of there. It's a lot different than what we have in North America, and I think that's just fucking awesome. I'm glad you've found some kind of mutual respect for you and your father. He might not dig the music, but you know, if he sees you pursuing the art, that's totally fucking cool as well. Anyway, once again, I love hearing from you guys. So if you're from the eastern half of the world, yeah, leave a comment below. Say hello. I'm always interested in hearing what's going on over there.
I'm an atheist in Bangladesh. Fuck my life. But seriously though, it's harder for non-believers living in Muslim households.
Hey Ridwan, thanks so much for writing. As I understand, Bangladesh isn't exactly the safest place in the world to be an atheist, and I hope it's not causing you too much flack with your families. I know it's definitely gone bad for a lot of people who've come out as atheists to their Muslim families. I got a buddy of mine who's a Muslim who's actually an atheist, and he hasn't told his dad yet, and I'm like, dude, just don't. It's not worth the fucking grief. So I hope things are safe for you, and I hope things go well for you, but thanks so much for writing, and keep playing, man. Hope it goes well for you.
I'm an ordained minister, 216-381, in the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. I've got an offer for you all. Try our religion for 14 days for free. If you don't like our religion, we promise your old God will take you back. Oh, and in our afterlife, we've got beer volcanoes and stripper factories.
I'm gonna quote Tyrion Lannister on this one. Why are all these gods such vicious cunts? Bring on the god of tits and wine. Well, it looks like this flying spaghetti monster is about the closest to that ever happening. So if you absolutely have to have a god in your life, go with that one. It's probably better than all the rest of them put together.
Hey Glenn, I love rock or metal, but in my school, the only thing people listen to is rap and SoundCloud remix garbage. There's only one other person who likes the same music and gets made fun of for long hair. People don't agree with taste in music and take the piss off of what should I do?
The best you can do is just ignore them. Here's the thing, and if they didn't explain this to you, I will try, is nobody gives a shit about what happens in your school in the real world. No, seriously, it doesn't matter in the slightest. They try and shove this crap down your throat when you're a kid. Oh, you have to do this in this year, or you're not going to get into this program. You're going to have to, you know, you better shape up or you're not going to be ready for the next step. That's all fucking bullshit. Most of the people you're in school with, especially the ones who you make fun of you for liking the kind of music of, are probably going to do next to nothing with their lives. And, like, you know what? Just do what fucking makes you happy and don't let other people wear you down, because chances are once you're out of school, you're never going to see them again anyway, and most of them won't amount to anything. I say this as somebody who was bullied nonstop during my high school career. I was just basically a victim the whole time I was there. And, you know, here I am, you know, some 30 years later, and, you know, here I'm talking to you about my experiences very similar to your experience. And yeah, that's been my situation. I mean, like, most of the people who were involved in music in high school did absolutely nothing with it and don't play anymore. So bear that in mind. Anyway, stick to it. It's definitely worthwhile.
Do you believe rock and metal is going the way of the dodo? Mumble rap and cookie cutter pop seems to be the norm.
Well, hey there, Homer. I'd file that one under why do you even give a fuck? Here's the thing. I grew up in the 80s, and most of the rock radio wouldn't touch metal in the 80s during the heyday. So why would anybody give a fuck now? There's so much available out there in terms of metal that you don't have to go through regular commercial channels for. And you know what? That's absolutely fine. Metal's always kind of been its own subculture and really hasn't given a shit about what the rest of the world is doing. So that's what I would recommend to you, is just don't give a shit about what the rest of the world of music is doing and just stick to what you love. So what if, you know, it's not super popular wherever you're at? You know what? Go to a fucking concert. Chances are you're going to meet a lot of people with similar interests. That would be my suggestion anyway.
Any tips on monitor volume when mixing? I find things like snare and bass tend to get over the top at certain volume, but decreasing my monitor volume even slightly at some point makes them disappear almost completely. This warps my mixes sometimes. When I get the mix all good at somewhat loud volume, then I listen to it back at less volume, it's fucked.
Great fucking question. Here's my suggestion: mix as quietly as possible, because if you spend hours listening to a loud mix, you're going to develop ear fatigue and you're not going to be able to hear the mix clearly. So what you need to do is mix at a very, very quiet volume and then pop it up every now and then just to check how it sounds at a loud volume. But you should always be mixing quieter, not louder. There's a special curve that works with the human hearing, and I forget what the fuck it's called right off the top of my head, and it has a recommendation for a dB level. My suggestion would be get your smartphone and put it at your listening position and grab a dB meter app and see what level you're listening at, what's comfortable versus what this thing recommends. You can Google it. I'm sure it's not that hard to find.
There is a by myself, to myself recording I'm planning to do, and I was wondering, is it really necessary to record guitars on 2-inch tape to get a more organic sound? Cheers from Mexico, and fuck you, Glenn.
No, not at all. Tape's cool, but tape is expensive, and you've really got to have your shit together to record to it. I mean, the whole digital versus tape thing, I thought that was a debate that was over 10 years ago. I mean, like, maybe 10 years ago it had something to it, but I mean, like, even the cheap digital these days is just fucking fantastic. And unless you're talking completely over the top of the line analog, and I mean, like, well maintained with an actual tech, yeah, digital just destroys analog these days.
Prove you are not wearing a wig, Glenn.
Challenge accepted. Happy?
Might be a dumb question, but what do you do to take care of your hair? I'm 19 years old and my hair is quite damaged and doesn't seem to grow anymore. Cheers and fuck you, Glenn!
Well, here's the truth. I'm 48 and I still got a full head of hair, and I really don't have to do much other than wash it and let it dry by itself. I don't blow dry it, and I don't put a lot of crap in it. Just wash it and it'll take care of itself. Maybe he's just born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Hey guys, if you liked the video, be sure to subscribe as I post every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. If you want to learn more about recording, check out one of my tutorials or one of my gear reviews if you want the actual honest truth about a piece of equipment. Till next time, stay metal, my friends.